So, back at it with another live stream. It's been a heck of a 48 hours or so. I'll just leave it at that. Let's get some change of music going here. Bear with me for a second. Gotta figure out where I put everything. Oh my goodness, when I can't find stuff. Alright, well I see one thing is not working. That's a bit odd. Oh, okay, we'll go back to local then. Alright. Sometimes I don't know what's happening when I do this. Alright. Let's go here. Okay. Anyway, so tonight, probably won't be on that long per se. Like I said, some stuff happening at home that I want to make sure I'm ready for. Hopefully, I won't get into it too much, but there could be something that happens I don't want to have happen in a couple of days, depending on situations, and I just gotta be ready for anything. It's that time, and if you've been keeping up with the current news, you can probably guess what that means. So, anyway. So, let's see. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get things kicked off. Gonna be just doing some plugging away at shinylearning and maybe do some Docker stuff to tweak my development environment setup a little bit, as I got some ideas for how I might be able to try this again with other projects that are a lot harder to set up than my personal ones. So we'll see. Alright, so let's dive into things. Alright, back to VS Code we are. And let's see. Oh, Tan, how you doing? Welcome. Glad you can make it. Gonna do some more shinylearning dev and maybe some Docker stuff. I've had a heck of a debugging day at work with Shiny app deployments that gave me fits with my bookmarking state hacks, and I'm still unwinding from that, and I'm still bugged that I haven't solved it yet, but tomorrow I'm sure I will. Just need to sleep on it a little bit. It's amazing the esoteric things that can happen with environment variables, options, and stuff with the bookmarking state. It's like kind of like walking in a dark cave. You just don't know the way out sometimes. So still my brain's a little fried from that. Alright. So where do we leave off? Let's see. Winter thing. You know what? Actually, I want to go back to that in a second. I'm getting awfully annoyed by the warning, so just temporarily I'm going to bump this up to 200 so I don't see that scary looking text every time. Alright, so let me quit this. Let me launch R again. That should get things back up and running. Let's check it out. Okay, now I'm getting that trailing white space thing, but that's something I should probably solve anyway, so there. No. There we go. Oh, it's still doing that. It doesn't like line breaks. Okay. Okay, let's look at the GitHub tracker issue board. See where I left off. Well, my last commit, I think, was from the last stream, or... Yep, it was. Okay. Through Daniel's and yours and others in the chat last time, we conquered a lot of the rlang adventures where I think I've got enough to go with, and that was, I think that was in, where did I put all that stuff? Where did I prototype that somewhere else? Now I gotta figure out what the heck. Oh, I know what it was. We were in the browser's debugger, and then now I gotta figure out how to fold that into some functions. It was in the test script. Oh, yeah, okay. Yep. All the stuff's in this test script. So frankly, this kind of stuff should move to a dedicated function, now that we've been through this a little bit, so... Oh, it's even getting mad at me about the name style here. Doesn't like that. Should be snake case. Oh wow, okay. The Winter's really picky about that. That's fine. So let me reorient myself in how we did this. We imported the file contents with parse exprs. We mapped through that to grab the current function, split that because I'm going to force the user to have underscore UI or underscore server for the module functions. We grab what the suffix is. We kind of stitch all this together as a new name. We write it out. Then we're kind of done at that point. At least for the prototypes. Let me look back to what that looked like. Oh, this is the last one we're left with. Page play. Yeah. Was it that? Oh, maybe it's something else. Anyway, we'll put this through as dedicated functions. Probably belongs... Well, I guess I can decide if I want snapshot shinylearning to have all the things in it. Then maybe I refactor parts of that into its own separate function. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, okay, I did put it in here. Okay, yeah, good. Wonder if I actually ran this on the last stream, if I ran this particular one. And we'll find out. We'll find out. Load everything up. Okay. Now we can run through my basic structure here. One thing I'm going to do for now is I am going to actually disable this create project stuff because that is not working yet. So I better put a note in here. It keeps getting mad at me for doing this within a current project. I guess the way around this is if I do this in a path that's not a subdirectory of where I am now. That might work. Maybe I do keep it in here. But what we'll do here is I'm going to change the path when I do it. For temporary stuff, I've been using the FS package a lot lately. Let me refresh my memory of what they have for creating temp directories. I haven't memorized it yet. Here we are. Dark mode coming up. It's a third temp? There's a path temp. I'm gonna search for it. Yeah, file temp. Path temp, maybe that was it. Path temp constructs a path within the path session directory. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, got it. So, let's do that. I'm just gonna test this out. Yeah, in fact, let's just run it. Mega Man. equal. Now, do I have to create this first? I probably do. I think this is just giving me the name of it, so I'm gonna have to create this first, so scratch that. All right. Let's just better save this as a variable for now. Okay, that's that. Whoops. That didn't go well. All right. Oh, did I? Yeah, okay. We're fine. There we go. All right. Now we can do it. Do open equal false. Let's make sure this works. Now that's interesting. This is again some kind of paying a strategy tax for using use this to create the project file, because it still tries to hold on a second. Let me look at this for a second. Studio equal true. I always say that to true. Okay, I wonder if I should change that later. But it's trying to set active project. Well, I don't think that actually did anything because we're not in our studio right now. But that's kind of weird to the user if they're using VS Code like me to see that. But yeah, that's... Anyway, at least I didn't get that weird warning about like creating a project within a project, so that's a step in the right direction. So let's see. Can I copy that? Oh, okay then. Let's see how that looks. Yep, everything's there. Good, good. Okay. What do you want? Okay. Not sure what that was about. Save that. And then we can do snapshot shiny learning. And this is the part where we will try this out. See if I copied everything well.
Oh joy!
Path must be a directory. Sure looks like a directory to me. Huh. Oh, wait a minute. No, it needs to have the name of the app. Oh, silly me. Okay. That must be why. But we need a better error message this time. And we call it Mega Man. No.
If you have a consumer complaint, just call this number.
Cannot open page. Really? Okay, well let's see what R thinks is in there. the R directory, page 1, page 2, app. Well, that certainly looks like it should be there. Okay, so we better go to debugging, huh? Probably doing something snowy, but let's see. Oh, those unused connections, I gotta clean that up too eventually. Let's try this again. Alright. What do we got here? Well, oh wait, it did create it. We have page 2 in there already. So what was it mad about? Did I leave something in here that I shouldn't have? Bizarre. Okay, let me step out of this. I need to get rid of that directory of page 2. Let me do that here. Okay. Let's run through this again.
On the other side of the screen, it all looks so easy.
What? Why is it always these directory things that give me fits? Okay. Let's go back here. Did I nuke the wrong thing? Oh, I'm in Bizarre World. I should have removed the page 2 directory and it's still there. What? Gonna be picky about the slash at the end? Apparently it is. Okay, well. Bizarre World on that one. Try that again.
What is this? What are you doing?
Why in the world is it doing that? Debug once again. Okay, where am I? Let's see what that does. Apps. There is no page. What the craziness? Okay. Yeah, I need to just start fresh again, but that's odd. I've definitely removed it. Unless, is that temp directory the same or different? RSV9, RESV9. Yeah, that's shinylearning Mega Man. Why on earth does it think there's still 2 directories there? It's most definitely not. Unless this is a Docker quirk where on file operations it doesn't notice unless you maybe start a new R session or something. Maybe that's it. What is these quirks? Alright, let's copy that. Oh, because when I do the art, okay, I wiped it out. Did it wipe it out? Oh, bizarre. Okay, anyway, maybe that temp directory thing's not a good idea after all. Yeah. I'll go back to doing it in the subdirectory of the app prototyping area and just disable the RStudio project. In fact, maybe while I'm in here, I'm gonna add a flag for that. And I may remove the flag later on. Add new lines here. I think I'm going to have a lot of arguments in this in the future. Great project. I'm going to put this false. Let's just add that. Studio project file in the application. Okay. Okay. Now this is only valid if they created the project, so I can actually fold this into the block above. Of course, the indentation goes nuts. All right, I think we got it. Okay. Load that back up. All right. Now we in turn the app path, so I'm gonna just return that as we do this. That should do it. Yep. Let's find out. It was very fast. There it is. Okay. Back to business. Now, this will be much easier to debug when we do it in here. Hey Daniel, how are you doing tonight? By the way, like I mentioned in the some of the chat earlier, yeah, I'm doing a bit of the Shiny project, might do some Docker stuff tonight, but I was about to say that I do have the syncing of Obsidian stuff all set up, but I still haven't quite used it in production, you might say, yet. I have a whole lot to migrate, but I'm also still watching those videos, those really great videos you link to in your your channel or other channels about the Zettelcast method. I'm probably not saying it right. Still wrapping my head around it, but I think the key nugget that took me a while to really parse through is that it's not about rigid folder structures like I used to do, which I want to get away from because it's just a pain in the butt to try and manage it, but the organic growth of how ideas and references and supplemental information or notes or whatever have you are organically linked together. So I just got to practice it, but I've got it in there now. It's just a matter of doing it. Got all your templates in there, and I got those template periodic notes templates in there. So it's like literally all ready to go, and it's just a matter of really executing on it. I'm sure I'm gonna have more questions for you as I actually put it to day-to-day use. But what I'm hoping to do is that I can use it for both personal projects, personal like life, and my work notes too, because my work note system is totally ugly. It's using Microsoft OneNote, and it's just I took all these notes, but it's like I can't find anything. It's buried in these arbitrary structures, and OneNote on Mac is just a piece of junk anyway. And so I'm hoping I can just kind of use one system to rule them all, and then be able to quickly find what I need, no matter if it's like work notes or personal notes. And I have everything backed up on a private Git repo that no one else has access to, so I've got it secure. So had to jump through a lot of hoops to get the sync stuff working, and I'm still paying for that sync service that the Obsidian team offers, but I've also augmented it with a Git plugin in Obsidian, so I can get the work system synced up via Git, whereas everything else is synced up via the standard sync solution. So it is, yeah, I think that's the key, right? Is I've had all these things fragmented. I even fragmented like the notes I have for all my text set up in different ways. This is my one shot to put it all in one place, and I'm really excited for it. Just have to put it to practice and get used to the new ways. But I'm looking forward to it. I think if I can get a good practice in this month and next month, then it'll become hopefully second nature after that. So yeah, I'm excited. So I say thanks to you and Jacob earlier for really pointing me to this, and I'm intrigued where it goes. So okay, so we were picking up where we left off in the last time I streamed about this. I've got the code that you and Tan and others helped me with to in this snapshot shiny learning function. I'm just making sure it works before I enhance some of the other things that need to be fixed. So here goes nothing. We're gonna do it now. Yes, that's the thing, right? Is that I couldn't do anything with OneNote because, of course, Microsoft's gonna put in whatever weird format they have for all that stuff. And my other systems were just random text files somewhere. But with Markdown and with the extensibility that Obsidian has, I have definitely not ruled out ways of interacting with that content even further. So I'm excited for what I can do with it. Gonna be some fun projects, I guess, coming up in the year. All right, let's see. This will work. Snapshot shiny learning path equal. Okay, we'll just do it like this. Oh, actually, a new add path. That's what it meant to do.
Whoa, Nelly!
So it's still giving me that junk. Okay. But now I can see what the heck's going on here. So page 1's definitely there. So we gotta figure out what I broke here. So let's just put the browser in here and see what happens. Sure, it's human error this time because you did the hard part. I have to just massage it all together now. Okay. Bizarre. No, actually, hold on a second. It did create it. Oh yeah, this happened before. So it's actually creating it. The error is happening at the end. So that's why we really gotta step through this. So let's nuke the existing app Bye-bye. Okay, we'll try this again, this time with the browser in there so that you can figure out what the heck happened there at the end. Alright, here we go. Next, apps. Apps should have stuff. Sure does, yep. Create a new directory for snapshots. And now we should have, yep, we got the directory there. And we copied everything from the existing directory in there. Yeah, that's all just comments from before. Oh, I may have seen the problem now. Because how does it know to go into page 1 from the current directory? Yeah, this must be the issue. How would it know where to go? So this seems like a silly thing. So let's see. Just curious what happens when I run this on its own. Oh, it's just a connection, but it definitely should not have
That sounds
any.
like bad
Yeah.
news.
Yeah, okay. So that was a silly mistake on my part. So what this should be, I should create the path dynamically based on what the user had, yeah, okay, I see where we left off. We need to make this dynamic, and I didn't make a, because I had it to do right here. Now, we're under the assumption that this is the current snapshot. So I think the first step is we need to add some more function arguments. We're in the refinement stage here. So how do I call this? Let me read my notes again. So kind of like using the word current for the for it to use the default one. But yeah, okay, let's go with that. So I'm gonna actually maybe I'll make it a boolean. Use current. Make that true, and if that's false, I'm going to let them have an optional argument that I'll set to null of like there may be a better way to do this. Yeah, we got all right. The Ninja Naren, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. Great question here. I get this a few times, but I was happy to answer. Why do I use VS Code over RStudio? So actually, I use both, but I have been in my live streams using VS Code mostly because it integrates really well with Docker right now. And all my R development and my open source work, I'm using Docker containers under the hood to make the development environments unique for each project. And I've been really impressed with what VS Code has with those integrations, plus those a chance to learn something new. So at the day job and even some of the other personal stuff, I do use RStudio Server in particular, and I'm able to hop between both at a moment's notice if I have problems in one or the other. So just trying to expand my horizons, but like I said, it's been a nice way to take advantage of container tech with my R projects. But yeah, thanks for the question. Okay, so let's start adding some documentation to this function. let's see what I do here. Change the text of this, but whoops. Change all this, I just need to start somewhere. Alright. Do snapshot. So this path will be a little different. Parent directory of the, or maybe not parent directory, just say path to the location. We don't need that. We need to use current snapshot. Flag. Use the current or latest snapshot of the application. It's the source for the next snapshot. It's set to false. Must supply a valid snapshot name in the shot name for you. Okay, so now this would be name of the desired snapshot to use as the basis of the new snapshot. Ignored if use current snapshot. Okay. I'll keep the additional arguments just in case. At this point, I'll be saying nothing right now, but maybe we'll actually we will we name of the new snapshot. Yeah, actually, yeah, Daniel nails it. This is another great feature I haven't touched on today, but I have in many, many other streams I've done, is that if you have a long file, especially in Shiny context where you have like a module or maybe a set of modules in one file, and you want to look at one part of it versus another part of it at the same time, you can't do that in our studio currently, but you sure can in VS Code. You have the same file opened in different viewing panes and have one at one particular region and the other pane has it at the other. So that's really nice feature. I love it. Oh, that's a good question, Chris. Why did I not default to the current snapshot if no snapshot name argument is provided? Yeah, maybe. I want to make this as easy as possible, and that most of the time when I'm going to use this package for myself as I start teaching Shiny more, I'm probably going to keep this as true, and then hence it's just this will be ignored. But I don't know. I'll have to think about that a little bit. I haven't I'll just try it this way first, but yeah, okay. Yeah, that might be actually. I'm sorry, I had to talk through it to think about it a bit, but that might be a more elegant way that if they want to custom snapshot the bases on, they have to name it. If they don't name it, it'll automatically be the latest one. Yeah, you know what? You've convinced me. I think I will try that. Okay. Yeah, make the user experience a bit easier. I appreciate that. So, get rid of this. I mean, I may use some of that. Optional. Say optional character string. Clean this up a bit. Use the basic. Alright. If no value is supplied, then by default, it will use the last, the current, or latest snapshot available. Yeah. Okay, we'll give that a shot. You know, like I said, I'm always open to trying this stuff out and see. Sorry, I gotta clean up the space in here. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Let's go with it. So, yeah, good question, Daniel. Why am I paying for this when I know very well how I could do it with Sync Thing? It was really about the work computer. That wasn't... Well, actually, no. Hold on. You bring up a good point. There were... I remember had some problems with Sync Thing on my phone in the past where it wouldn't update for some reason. Like, or sync a particular file. This is back when I was doing that for password management. And I remember back then, now this is years ago, maybe it's gotten better since, but Sync Thing would drain the heck out of my phone's battery. So I've been trying to kind of avoid it on my phones lately. But I'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm going to give it a couple months and see, and I may try some silly projects to do Sync Thing with, and if it does work better than it did in the past, I'll switch to that and not have to pay for it all. But at this point, I just want something that works, like guaranteed to work basically, and not me having to engineer it again. But I'll keep that in mind for sure. All right, so we've got the snapshot name there, and then this is where we're gonna do our dynamic stuff. Now this, okay, so this is where things are gonna have to change now, right? So we're gonna okay, that's cool, Chris. You've used it last year. You had to manually get it to sync some. Yeah, see, when it does sync, it does it well. But I remember there were times where I updated something on my computer, and then like a minute later, I expected to see it on my phone, and it just for whatever reason would not show up until I manually triggered it. And it was bugging me because there were times I quickly hacked something together on my computer. Then I went out and about and I needed it on my phone and it wasn't there, and then I left the house already, and then on mobile it didn't work as well as on Wi-Fi. So there were a couple things that annoyed me about it, but I'll give it a shot on some less critical projects and see if it plays nicely with it. Okay, so one thing I noticed here is that even right off the bat, I'm assuming all these snapshots have the name page something, and for right now, that rigidness kind of makes the most sense to me. For the directory names, but then within these, they could, like within the page 1, page 2, they could call these whatever they want. Maybe that's the way I treat it, is that this is flexible inside, but the directory structure is not. So this actually can stay then, because then we're going to see, okay, is it apps? Or yeah, I'll call it apps, length of that. And then this is where we have to be dynamic now. Because if they supplied it, then we got to make sure it's utilized in here in the path to, or not mean in the path from here, where it's not just this. Okay, so we know what we have to do now. So if is not null, I call the snapshot name. So this is what I'm gonna use as the current snapshot name. Yeah, I should just move this whole thing here. Alright. What did I mess up? Oh, no, we got it. Alright. And then that's always going to be the same. This will become snapshot name. But I need to add some error checking though. I need to, if this doesn't exist, we're gonna error out. In fact, we can do that right here. Yeah. I'm an old timer. I like the brackets for these. All right, stop. Glue this in. Specified snapshot. Name. Exist. Okay. That way we cover our bases if they add something that wasn't there. And now we can do our dir copy. Okay. That should okay, so this should be the same name as the snapshot name. Okay, yeah. But just with a .r at the end. So it could, basically can be this, just pasting the .r at the end. Okay. crude way to do this is paste 0. Oops. Dot R. Yeah, I love it too. Yep, I rediscovered these back when I was doing a bunch of tweaking in the break, kind of mixing up my music. So, yep, I love it too. And this one is called Chemical Reaction from Sonic 2. Okay, so that should work. Do I do anything with file con here? Or was that when I was debugging stuff? Oh no, I do. Okay, so now I've got to create this dynamically. In fact, I should save this as a variable. We're going to need it. New snapshot path. This is going to be right here. Yeah, we're going to keep that the same, and then we're just going to use it here. Okay. Now that means that this file name should kind of match the structure of this, and which means I kind of like having more variables for this. Makes it easier for me to debug later on. So I'm gonna extract this out. And then this becomes all right, there we go. Hey, Unicorn Coder, how are you? Hope you're doing well. We're hacking away at shinylearning tonight, just refining after all the hard work that Daniel and Tan and others helped me a couple weeks ago when the last time we streamed about this. I'm just making sure it works well in the new function, which it already is, and I'm just going at a slow pace to make sure I cover everything that could possibly go wrong when I try to make this more dynamic. So it's going to be called new snapshot file. Same idea here. I'm going to call it new snapshot path. And then this now becomes new snapshot. I'll paste it 0. Or no, not paste 0, just shot file. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna listen to the linter. We're gonna make a snake case. They really get picky about that. Alright. Okay, so this should stay the same. It's just the contents. It's what we're getting from the file. But this definitely needs to be different. This needs to be this. So we're not going to call it page 2 anymore. I know I'm mixing paste and glue. We will take care of this in a little bit. I just want to make sure this part works first. Yeah, you know what? We're going to do that now. We'll comment this first just to make sure I knew what I had before. No need to mix them up. That's icky to me. Okay. And this now becomes underscore and suffix. That looks a lot cleaner, doesn't it? Okay.
Who's ready for story time with our podcast?
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. Okay. You ready? We got a lot. Where do I begin? So had a heck of a session today on how one typo caused absolute chaos for my debugging adventures today. So there are a lot of hoops to jump through in my custom solution for shiny bookmarking state that I've hacked together. And so for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, on the official Shiny website, they have a few articles about this. Let's find it here. So the idea behind is if you're working in a Shiny app and you're doing like some really complicated things in it, maybe it's got like 5-6 pages or tabs of things to do, and you don't want to redo it every time you log back onto the app. Ever since, frankly, 2019 or earlier, the Shiny team's built in this capability of letting you save the state of the app that you've done in the UI and optionally the backend stuff too, so you can go back to it later on. So that's awesome. It's a little rigid, frankly, by design, I think, because they didn't anticipate anybody would need to do a whole lot with it other than what they offered. Well, I'm one of those people that wants to do a heck of a lot with it. So I found some slick ways to figure out, okay, when it's saving the bookmarking state of it, there are certain functions that they have hard coded, but yet they give you the opportunity via R6 to inject your own version of those functions. So for both saving and loading them, I have my own custom functions to intercept what it wants to do, and I make it work for our current infrastructure at the company with our Linux file system and the whole idea of each user has their own Linux directory and all that fun stuff. That's been working for years. I've used it very well. I've tried to get cute with this a little bit with the advent of Golem for making my app as a package. And I tried to be really slick, not too unlike what I'm doing here, where for ease of debugging, oh, sorry, can't get, where's VS Code here? Like how I have, I call this prototyping, it could be called anything, where I'm kind of stashing all these temporary things I'm making for debugging purposes. I built in some logic in the app code base to say, okay, if I'm running this app on our studio server or a general R session that I booted up on the terminal or whatever have you, all that development mode. And then that where I have a directory in the working directory of the app to say, okay, stash all the bookmarking files somewhere in here. I call like session dir and like blah blah, the app files, and then much like what I'm doing here, I give names to each session, and then it's got all the fancy stuff in there. But if it detects that it's running on a server, like a deployed server, we used to use Shiny Server Pro, we're still using that a little bit, now we're going to RStudio Connect, that it would use the user's home directory instead. Because due to permission nonsense, I can't create directories in the app subdirectory when I deploy the app. That's a long story due to Linux permission stuff. So I tried to make this dynamic. I would say, okay, based on the URL of that Shiny session object that it's detecting, determine if I'm on RStudio server or on one of the Linux cluster nodes, or if I'm on the RStudio Connect server. Well, silly me did not detect this last year when I kind of left this app I'm working on in limbo, because I got sidetracked in other priority things, and I picked it back up today, and I was like, oh, why is the bookmarking thing not working anymore? Because it kept trying to save the bookmarks in the wrong place. And I'm like, no, this isn't right. This worked on other apps before. What is going on? And parsing logs in RStudio Connect is not the most fun experience in the world, so I started doing what everybody does most of the time. Moving a whole bunch of message calls in the app code to figure out, okay, what's the value of this path? What's the value of this variable option and all this? And I was printing then the name of the server that it thought it was on. And I saw what looked like RStudio-connect dot whatever my works domain is. It wasn't until today that I realized, I'll just save new file here and show you. I had it notice this? Seems obvious now, right? I misspelled connect. I spent 3 hours because of this and I didn't catch it. Because I didn't spell check it or anything. But once, one letter, and now it all works again. So, oof. Rough times with a misspelling that absolutely caused immense pain. But learning experience. So typos are the bane of my existence when I'm doing some really slick thing. I worked out the hard stuff years ago. It's something like that that derails it. So story of my coding life these days. It's a great functionality though. I do want to make sure that I can package it up and maybe open source it, because I think it's a pretty novel thing to do, especially when you're in a production environment like I am most of the time with this stuff that's esoteric. But yeah, that was a lesson learned. Once I discovered that, I had the the typical face palms and like, oh gosh almighty. But live and learn, buddy, live and learn. So that was the most unpleasant thing of work today. I've had other unpleasant things in other parts of life that hopefully get better, but I'm feeling good right now. So okay, so Daniel, you got some feedback here. You saw a video the other day of someone had a Unicode 0 with space in their code. Oh, that sounds horrible. That sounds horrible. I do not envy anybody that goes through this. Yes, Isomore, this is very much in the spirit of the dark matter stuff I work on that hasn't seen the light of day. Outside of it, I literally have my work laptop next to me with that whole thing open in front of me, and I'm trying not to look at it because it's pulling me to fix the rest of it, but I'm not, because I want to do the fun stuff tonight. So yes, that is one of those things, and they're all out there in terms of in these confined walls of our company's firewalls, no matter where you are. But someday I'll open source it, I hope. So one of the podcasts I listen to from Jupiter Broadcasting has this show called Coder Radio, the host of that, Michael Dominic, always is very pragmatic and talks the real kind of trials and tribulations of working in big enterprise, or even as a, in this case, a small business owner doing software development. And very much they talk about the notion of the dark matter developer. They do really slick things, but they're not allowed to share it. And so it's like they have a persona outside of work that doesn't show all their skills, but then in the company they do some very cool things, but they just cannot show it. Yeah, so I still listen to that because there are times that I'm doing kitchen work or whatever and there's no streaming action, that I still listen to that stuff, or when I'm just exercising or stuff like that. So yeah, that's probably right for an emoji down the road, is something about dark matter development. We'll have to think about that. But yeah. But something I've talked about when I first started doing all this stuff on Twitch and YouTube before is that even though you might not see the verbatim stuff I do, there are concepts in here that do mimic what I do over there. If I can't say it specifically, I can at least give you subtle hints of what I'm doing. So I do think that deserves a spotlight. Good old Unicorn Coder, we may have a job for you to make another Hex of Dark Matter R development. Black Ops Coder, that's another one. I could see some cool stuff for that. Y'all are way more creative than I am, so suggestions are welcome, as I say, or prototypes. You wonder if I use column at work. Oh gosh. That's a no-brainer. I have converted many people, I'd say many, in the small niche of Shiny at work. I've definitely converted at least 4 or 5 people on Golem now, and I tell Colin, he's happy, so, you know, the master plan is working. Where the heck was I? Alright, yep, this is what I wanted to do, make the left-hand side dynamic. Everything else is dynamic, so I feel like this may be the, just gotta, on. Gotta change our name here. Okay. This looks like the ticket. We're gonna go for it. Relaunch our debugger and see what happens. Okay. As what we always should do in these cases is we should clean up after ourselves, in case I left some artifacts in that debugging thing that went haywire. So bye bye Mega Man, I bring it back. Got it. Here we go. Let's see what kind of shenanigans I can introduce now. So we are up here. Sure, apps is the right thing. Yep, it is. Okay, so this is the first new stuff here. We're at the if, and we definitely kept it as null. So let's see. All right. Oops. Let's see what that says. Looking good to me. Okay, let's keep going. This should be fine. Perfect. We get our directories copied. Oh, we sure did. We sure did. Okay. Where are we at? We're gonna look at our current snapshot file.
Aw, crap.
Oh, of course I don't type it well. There we go. Alright, page 1, we got that. We'll do our file con here.
Aw, crap.
Oh. Oh. Yep. That didn't work. Where did it fail? I think it failed at, yep, it failed at this part. So, because the current snapshot file, this current snapshot path actually is incorrect. No, that was correct. Oh, no, it wasn't. No, I know the problem. I know the problem. I got too cute with this path thing, so I know where the problem is. So, this needs to be a little better. I need... This is the full path to the snapshot, if you will. I just need, like, this thing. The page and apps. Okay, we know what we're doing here. Okay, I gotta figure out a nice name for this, but current snapshot script. Yeah, we'll just call it this. And we're just gonna, I'll make this more elegant later, but ain't nobody got time for that right now. So this, because we're using glue already, we just do this, and then this will be changed slightly differently. Glue snapshot name. What the heck did just happen there? All right. By the way, my favorite like level slash song from Sonic 3 is this Ice Cap for Life. Yeah. Anyone knows what For Life came from, you're a fellow fan like me. Alright, let's see. Snapshot. Snapshot. And then this. Boy, I had all of them on the Sega Genesis, at least. I lost touch after the weird 3D ones. Wasn't the biggest fan of those. But, you know, the retro stuff has always been my favorite. Okay, I feel like I'm missing something here, but let's... Okay, this is what, let's... Actually, that was fine. It's more about this. This is the part. So we've actually got... We're going to call this current snapshot script. I don't need this anymore. This is now current snapshot path. And this is current snapshot script. Yeah, I have the NES back in my parents' house, all in a box somewhere, so right now I still play the retro copies. I guess I better not say more than that, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that should be better now. Ah, this is what I need to do, snapshot script, much like what we did up here. And then this now becomes... Actually, we don't need this anymore. We can... All right. I think this should get us in better shape. Oh, this needs to be a little different. Maybe not. We'll keep it as is. I feel like I have to change that too. Alright. Let's see, I'm gonna go for about 10 more minutes or so and then we'll call it a night, but we're making progress. You know, it's slow going, but I want to get this right. And unfortunately, I have to get up even earlier than usual because of a certain situation that's developed that I hope will be nothing but not happy about something. Okay, so let's do our cleanup. By this time next week, you will know one way or another what this situation is. Anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna run that. Yeah, there we go. Or did I do DevTools load all yet? I better do that. All right, let's try this again. Let's see what snapshot script looks like. Yes, good. Yeah, actually, this, I could not have said it better myself. You all are so good with your words tonight. So Daniel's saying, so this is all so you can show how Shiny apps are built incrementally, sort of like the Flipbook R package or ggplot. That is nailed. Oh man, I need a soundboard to like the ding ding ding. That's like the winner. Yes, that is exactly it, because just like what Flipbook R is doing to kind of show how somebody builds up layer by layer a ggplot, and I love the way those turn out. This is the equivalent of that for Shiny. Yeah, that is spot on, absolutely spot on. And if I can make this easy to use, then I feel like I've got I'm giving something that would be hopefully useful to those that are teaching Shiny, which is going to be very important for me this year that I found out recently. So, all right. So yes, thank you, Daniel. I'm going to have to remember that as like a clip for my future advocation of this package once it gets more stable use. All right, so let's see. See if these are valid. Yep. Script. Yes, thank you, Unicorn Coder. I know there's some. Oh, there was a OBS plugin that lets you have like notes on the stream that you can like type in and have that saved. My Linux friend that's teaching me all my streaming tricks just supercharged our OBS kind of installation, and I need to look at that again. So I got more cool tech coming. in the coming weeks. So Martin, if you are watching this on demand, I'm sorry I couldn't do it tonight, but better believe next week I'm going to put your super awesome version of OBS in the works. So okay, let's give this a shot, see if we get any chaos here. Okay, this is the part where it failed before, so I'm just going to run it interactively first before we... The first step is making sure the path is correct, because there's no use going further if this path doesn't work. Prototyping, Mega Man, or page 1.art. So that should... Yes, Mega Man, page 1, that should work. Let's just not save as an object, see what... We got it. Okay. Yes. Okay, good. Then this should be the right path. Let's run that. Now this is where it's going. Hence, it's not this file. This is a copy of it. In fact, that's kind of something I may have to think about, is how to delete this extra copy here. But anyway, those are details. All right. Here we go. New file contents. This is the big one. Oh. I don't remember seeing that last stream. Did I have a... Hold on a second. I do not remember seeing that unless I didn't observe it last time. Let's see what rlang version we have here. Actually, I should run it like this. Oh, yeah, Voldaf 4.12. Okay, well, that's good to know. That's I guess we need to use call to instead. Well, let's see what call to actually says. We're learning. Does that syntax look similar? Yeah, the function, that's what the assignment is a function under the hood, and then oh, okay, so I think it will work the same. But let's... Okay, well, we'll change that later. Let's make sure everything else works first, but good to have in our back pocket just in case. I think it got everything. Let's take a look at file contents. Oh yeah, we got our list here. Yep, we got it. Looking good there. And then now we're gonna unlist it, write it to file con. Here we go. And moment of truth, does the new file have it? There is page 2. We still have page 1 there. We're gonna have to figure that piece out. But let's look at it. Page 1, 2 UI, yep, that is everything. It's not linted yet or styled yet, but I am okay with that. Yeah, because the tag list is just putting everything in one line, but like I said, these are formatting details later on, but boy, I think we got it. Okay, so basically, picking right back up where we left off a couple weeks ago, we simply now have Daniel's immensely helpful rlang sorcery into my main function, and other than a few minor details of cleanup I have to do, it definitely worked. Now the test we can do now is if we supply the snapshot name and we say, okay, well, for this third snapshot, we're still going to base it off of the first snapshot for some esoteric reason. So let's see if that does the trick. And then I think I'm going to be very happy with that. Keep the browser in there for now. Okay. Oh, yes. Gravity Beetle, Mega Man X3. Okay. Path is the same. And now, snapshot name. I'm going to call it page 1. Okay, let's get going here. Now this should have 2. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Okay. And then now we should go here. Let's find out. Yes, yes, yes. Snapshot path. Yep, page 1. And then script. Yep, page 1 again. That's what we wanted. And then now the new stuff should be let's see. Page 3. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, we're on the right track. Goes with dangerously. Let's just continue the whole thing. Yep. We got page 3. And we got the page 3 script. And of course, it's the same content because we didn't change any of the code. But we have now verified that snapshot name argument is working well, and I am feeling good about this function. It's got a couple quirks left, mainly that when I do this dir copy thing, it's keeping the old file in there, so I've got to figure out a way to get rid of that extra script, but that's something probably for another time. But this is already very, very good, so I can take out this to do here. Yep, we've taken care of all this. In fact, we've done all of our to do here. Yep. Clear out some of this. Our glue magic is working well. Oh, why couldn't my debugging woes from earlier today gone as smoothly as this? You all have our good days and bad days of coding. Oh, yeah. We better commit this before it goes crazy on... Oh, get that browser out of there. Oh, talk about mini story time here. I may have mentioned it before, but I've had, even by my own doing, a couple times where I deployed an app and I forgot to take the browser statement out, and it was... that was rough. Because people would be like, okay, I'm on this page and then nothing's happening afterwards. I'm clicking around. I'm doing all this. I'm like, what? It was fine earlier. And then sure enough, I look at the logs. I'm like, oh, no. So even though that is my favorite tactic for debugging, it can be dangerous when you leave those artifacts behind. Like what I almost did there. So that's another thing I want to do better this year, is figure out ways to do more like automated cleanup of debugging things. I can't remember if Engineering Shiny mentions some of those tactics or not, but I'm gonna try and get better with that this year as well. Lots of things that I've identified from my downtime at the end of last year of coding / software development principles I want to get better at, because I'm going to be probably asked to do a whole lot of other stuff this year, and I want to make sure I do it efficiently and help other people do it with me, and not just be me doing it. So got to learn, then I got to teach. Okay. So I have done close to that, Daniel. What I did before is I would have, if some condition being met, then enter the browser. So I've kind of done that. but I feel like there should be an easier way besides that. But I definitely, like, I can tell you what I did before. Like, I won't commit it here, but what I would do is if I have a thing where I expected something to be there, like if is null and apps, and then I would just say browser like that. And that does work. Like, it's, again, you have to clean it up afterwards, but it definitely works if you want to conditionally enter the browser for whatever reason. But I feel like there's got to be something even more elegant than that. But I go to that from time to time when I have to, when I know what will trigger it, and I want to just condition on that so that I don't go into the debugger all the time for things that work as well. So yeah, sometimes the extra typing is worth it, for sure. Okay, so we can clean up after ourselves here. With this. All right. Another thing I want to do this year is that at each song change, that thing shows up automatically for my local music playback. I think I know how to do it. It's just a matter of hooking together some Linux magic there under the hood and getting it done. All right. Yep, that looks looking pretty good. I'm just gonna. Oh yeah, the return. I don't want to do just end apps anymore. I want to return. Probably the new snapshot path. Yeah, we'll do that for now. How did I do it here? Did I do just invisible around it? Oh, I did. Okay, yeah. Cool. Snapshot. Okay. Roll that up. New document. Perfect. Commit this stuff and call it there. I won't commit the linter thing because that was just for temporary. Must have did some tweaks to add shiny learning. What did I do there? Oh, I tweaked the arguments. Yeah, okay. So there, and then I would say add option a flag for creating studio projects. App creation. Okay. Now, polish snapshot function, do dynamic snapshot starting point. Did I have an issue for that? Oh, it's like the reference issues if I did. You know, to be honest, other than a little polishing, I think we've solved this, so I'm going to close it in the commit. I want to feel good about something today. Number 11. That was 11, right? Yes, yep. Alright, I need the satisfaction of closing an issue today because I didn't close anything today with what I did. Yep, that should do it. So for our real-time feedback, I love it. All right. One down, folks. One down. We still got a lot more to do, but it's one down. Arguably, other than the cleanup I have to do, that's literally the meat of this whole package is what we just did. So that's kind of like the engine that's going to drive the rest of the package, so to speak. And now it's just going to be kind of gravy on top of the rest of the functionality. So we're on it. We're on it. Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm the, like, of all our streamer group here, I am by far the slowest at making these things happen. But once I do, then I feel pretty good and I can augment it further. Okay. I'm not probably going to do any Docker stuff tonight. What I was going to do, if I had the energy for it, but going back to my our dev projects, is the current mechanism of this. Well, you're doing stuff for our studio now. I mean, you're on that education kind of kick with the big kind of book of Python for data science, right? I mean, that's pretty cool, pretty ambitious, I must say, but I'm sure you're going to make good progress on that. So anyway, back to this Docker thing. I want to change this to be a more robust version of this. Oh, streaming projects. Well, you're busy now. You just, understandable. What I want to do for this, in fact, I might have a branch that shows this. Let me see. No, I don't. Okay. For another, oh, I know what I did with this. Let me show you. It was the quiz at infrastructure. Yep. Okay, so for those that aren't as familiar with Docker right now, there's this cool little functionality called Docker Compose, where instead of just having one container built at a time, you can build a hydrate, sorry. You can build a kind of, you might say, cluster or group of containers that are networked of each other, and they all do different things. So what I want to do for this is piggyback what I learned from the quiz thing I did for R Pharma, where in here I had a VS Code container, a database container, an RStudio container, and a volume to put a bunch of stuff in. Well, I want to move it so that I have this and this at all times in my dev projects, because this will be the easiest way that I can somehow fold some of what I learned in all this exploration into how I develop stuff at the day job. Because right now I'm jumping through a few technical hoops that are kind of infrastructure related I'm getting kind of sick of. And if I can make development as easy as what I feel like I've set up for the personal stuff, for the work stuff, but be able to deploy it as if I was doing it in, quote, the old way, then I'm going to be a happier person. So I was going to experiment with this a little bit tonight, but I'm going to save that for next time. But I feel like I'm on the right track. But I got a bunch of migrations to work on over the year to new infrastructure, and this stuff will make it a lot easier to troubleshoot and for me to try out new stuff, because like my friend Martin says in the Linux side of things, the container stuff is the wave of the future in a lot of software development. So the more I can get better with it in my personal stuff, the more I can take that into the day job stuff. So, all right, I feel like that's a good note to end on. It's been always lots of fun working with all of you to watch, and One issue down, but a big one. So I'm happy for that, and I'm also very excited for what I released recently on the Shiny Dev series. We had part 2 of one of my most enlightening and most just engaging conversations about the movie viewer app that Herman Sontrop and Kent Russell submitted to the Shiny contest this year. And then in the latest episode that I released earlier this week, we took a deep dive into all the packages and frameworks that Kent has made to bring Vue.js as a first-class citizen for tying with Shiny. So I see lots and lots of potential for this, and Kent blew me away. I knew he would, but it was always just fun to just watch this in action and look at years of development, and working with Herman to make that app was a whole lot of fun. I really enjoyed seeing those deep dives. That's the spirit of the show, to get really geeky with the internals of all this, and how you out there, if you're into Shiny, how you can tap into these community of resources. So there will be at least one app I work on, either personal or work, that will use Vue.js, because it is very nice, very clean UI, and something that I could really wow people with. Especially some people that are giving me flack for my apps all looking the same, where anyway, can't please everybody. But this looks fun to do. It's gonna be a bit of a challenge, but it looks fun. So I'm excited for that one. Next episode will come out, I'm looking at my own calendar here, probably in a couple weeks. So okay, yeah, well, let's hash this out a little bit while we have some time. Daniel's asking, do I suggest Vue.js over React, I believe. It's, from my limited knowledge, and again, maybe I'm biased for recency bias, so to speak, with what Kent just showed me, I feel like it's easier to tie Shiny concepts with Vue.js at the moment, whereas with React you have to do a little more things custom under the hood to make it work like the way you would expect it to. I'm not as familiar with Next.js, but I've seen enough in this episode, or this series of episodes, to say to myself, well, in the time that I want to do a custom HTML front end, this seems like the easiest path to go. And again, this is coming from somebody who still is very much a novice with web development things, but this looks like the one that has a lot of traction in the community. And whenever I see some people I look up to in the R community start to play with this and show what is easily one of the most fun looking apps I've ever seen that puts this in action, I think it's worth it. So for those that haven't seen the episode yet, the app that was submitted to the Shiny contest is this one right here. And when you look at this, when it actually boots up, hopefully it does. Come on. Yep, I'm going to do that right now. Thank you very much for reminding. Let's put that in the chat. No, not there, Eric. Not there. Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? There we go. Okay. The app is this. I mean, just look at how gorgeous this looks. All the thumbnails of the movies right here. This was a Vue.js widget to render all of these. You can just click on one of these and Kanto, however you want to say it. These are all like, the pieces of this are kind of like modules in Shiny in a sense. Different parts of the page are being served by different pieces of the app. You can see the cast here. They have other, that's a home page. This is an awards page. Just look at the aesthetics of this. This is just next level stuff. This was a timeline chart of about the COVID situation, even though it's not related to the movie stuff, but just to show the capabilities of Vue.js and how to link things together. And what was this page of? This is just literally to show that ggplots can fit in a viewer app, just like you would in any other Shiny app. So it's yeah, they have a narrative here that you can look at as well. But the 2 episodes that we did are going to, in essence, serve as hopefully one of the best go-to references to get started with Vue.js and Shiny. But what I plan to do is in the future streams, try this out with an app that I already have created and just kind of reconvert the front end to use some of this. So there's a lot to digest here, but the 2 episodes will give you a whole lot to look at. So you could say that what we did in the last 2 episodes are the first pass at Herman and Kent's tutorials that they'll do. Yeah, I'm still blown away with everything that's here. So yeah, the show notes have all the links of all the widgets, the Vue.js frameworks, and everything. So yeah, again, loved what the conversation. The real funny part was in the second half, if you will, this episode 27. Kent would be so enthusiastic and be like, "Oh, I just want to show you one more thing," and then we go over and like, "Oh, do we have time for one more?" And I'm like, "Bring it on, keep it going." I didn't want to stop it because I was just having a time of my life watching that. So you'll see throughout that episode, there are like times where I'm like, "Yep, bring it on, let's hear more." So those are some of my favorite times when we have a guest that just loves sharing this. Like that's why I do this. It's just so much fun. Anyway, enough geeking out. It's getting late here. I'm going to probably shut down now, but as always, if you want to get in touch with me, the best place, if I can hit my buttons here, follow me on Twitter at the Rcast. There's the YouTube of the Shine Developer Series, and somehow my green screen thing is making parts of my head transparent. Anyway, GitHub for all my stuff, and the art podcast itself for the past content. And you all have a great night. Thanks again for all your help in the chat, for me debugging everything going on. I didn't have as many catastrophes this time around, so that's always encouraging. And we'll see you probably next week or sooner, depending on where I find you. So have a good night, take care, and yeah, like I said, see you next time. Bye everybody.